Excuse me. Oy, 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 I think we did this yesterday. No, this is where we go. Okay. Yeah, we did it. Right. All right, we talked about food and books. On food and books, there is no law of muksa. You can move them for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And also vessels that are used for a permissible purpose on Shabbat. For instance, your knife, your fork, your clothes. You cannot move any of these things for no reason, but you can move them in order to save the vessel. You don't have to have any use for the vessel, for your clothes, for your hat, it can even be old, clothes that were in your closet. Right, one of your children takes all of your clothes and into the front yard, drags them all onto the front yard. You see people are looking at it, they want to start taking your stuff. You can move your clothes in, even if you don't need the clothes at all, for Shabbat. Clothes, that's a malach, kli shemalachta leheter. It's a vessel that is singled out for a permissible purpose, something that's permissible to do on Shabbat. And the same thing, all of your silverware. You have your silverware, you can move the silverware, your plates, your dishes, and to save the silverware. Say it's out in the sun, it's going to get cracked, you can move it in. But you can't move it for no reason at all. You can't play with your fork, according to the Alter Rebbe. You can't play with your lapel or something. So if so, we've learned 4 levels, if you want to call it, of muksa. Muksa, things that you cannot move at all for any reason. Muksa, that you can move even for no reason. That's the 2 ends. Then muksa, that you can move to save the vessel itself. That's vessels that are for a permissible purpose. And then there's muksa, you can only move a vessel for its use. For its use or for its place. For its place. Okay. Yurches. Nevertheless, muter ladam, it is permissible for a person. 1 second, I have to answer. This is a sick person I have to answer. Yitzchak? Ma pirush ma koreh? He בסדר, אני מוסר שיעור עכשיו, בסדר? אני אצלצל אחר כך. טוב? תודה. מכל מקום, nevertheless, muter ladam is permissible for a person, Lisa Sakin, to carry a knife by him. Av keshaholach lebeita knesset. Sorry, I have to just. I'm sorry. Okay. Mikol makom, nevertheless, mutar la'adam, it is permissible for a person, Lisa Sakin, to take a knife with him. Now, what do we say a knife is? A knife is a vessel that's used for a permissible purpose. When can you use it? You can only use it even to save the vessel itself, but you can't take it for no reason. A knife you can't move for no reason. You can move it For the vessel itself, let's say your knife is in the sun, you want to move it out, that's okay. You can take the knife with you to the shul. You can carry it in your hand in a place where there's an eruv. Of course, it has to be a place where it's permissible to carry, even though that you don't need the knife at all. Cave and sin, because you'll need it later on in the day. They didn't forbid you to carry this knife for no reason. You don't need it at all in the course of the day. What do we say? A knife or clothes. These are things, it's called the klisha melechta leheter. These are things that you can move, even to save the vessel. But you cannot move it for no reason at all. Only food and books you can move for no reason at all. So let's say now you've got a knife, and you're going to need this knife later on in the course of the day. Later on in the course of the day, you want to cut up the pickles for the kiddush in shul. When are you going to need the knife? Later on, after you finish davening. You're going to make a big kiddush, you cut up the pickles. Can you carry that knife with you to shul, even though you don't need it right now? You're only going to need it hours later. Yes, you can. You cannot move it for no reason. But if you're carrying it now for later, that's okay. It's because you need it. That it'll be ready for him whenever you do want it. So therefore, it doesn't have to be that you're moving this vessel. You're moving this vessel either to save it right now or that you need it right now. Right? You can't carry it for no reason. What is considered to be no reason you can't carry it? It means no reason at all. The whole Shabbat, you'll have no use for this thing. No use. You're just carrying the knife with you. Why? You like to play with it in the middle of davening. You can't do that. Now, please bear with me just one moment. I just want to take a short break of 3 minutes, please. Clothes that you are allowed to move just for the vessel itself, just to save it, but you're not allowed to move it for no reason. What does it mean, no reason? It means, when is it forbidden? No reason at all. But if you're going to use this vessel in another 3 hours, 10 hours, whenever, and you're carrying it to a place where you're going to use it much, much later, that's okay. That's not considered to be no reason. So let's just take an example, right? You want to go to shul, and you live in a place where there's an eruv, and are you allowed to take, let's say you have your kiddush cup. You want to take the kiddush cup, and you're going to go to shul, and from the shul, you're going to go over to somebody's house, and you're going to eat over there. You're going to carry a kiddush cup. When are you going to finish the shul with the kiddush, everything? You're going to need it 6 hours after you leave house. Right? 6 hours after you leave. Are you allowed to? Yes, you are. Even more. You're allowed to do it. Tefillin. Sorry, I just forgot where I was over here. Yes, okay. Tefillin. Are you allowed to carry tefillin on Shabbat? Why would you want to do a thing like that? Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's no mitzvah to carry tefillin. You're not allowed to put on tefillin on Shabbat. There's no mitzvah. To put on tefillin, I mean, no mitzvah. So why would you want to carry the tefillin? Let's see. Hey, maybe you want to carry the tefillin because the tefillin were in the sun. Huh? they're in the sun, and you want to move with your hands. Are you allowed to do it? Are there the tefillin? Let's say they're on the street. Let's say somebody stole tefillin from the shul, and they threw them into the street. Now you got this tefillin over there in the sun, or somebody's going to steal a tefillin, or you're just walking down the street, you see a bag of tefillin there. Now it's a place, let's say there's an eruv. Here we're only talking about laws of muktzah, right? We're not talking about laws of carrying. So it has to be a place where there's no worry about carrying. There's an eruv there. There's permissible 100% to carry. You can take your baby out in a carriage and carry your talis under your show, your coat, no problem. The question is it muktzah? So what about tefillin? Tefillin ain't a din Sefer Torah, Kodesh. Tefillin haven't got the same law as holy books. Can anyone tell me what is the law of holy books? What type of muktzah is on holy books? Can anyone tell me?
None.
What?
You said none.
None. Very good.
Food.
Excellent. Food and books, you can touch them for absolutely no reason. Okay, tefillin, even though that they are sort of holy books, I mean, they have, Shema Yisrael and other holy paragraphs written there, but not holy books. So you can't move them for no reason. And it's also not, oh, rabbis, I'm so sorry. Yaniv, doctor. Tefillin. Tefillin are not like books, which books you can move for no reason. And it's also not the same law as, let's say, eating utensils or clothes, that those things you can move to save the vessel itself, even if you have no use for it. Why not? Shehari asur letzeit b'hem l'reshut rabim. It's forbidden to carry tefillin out into a public domain. You can't wear tefillin outside. And anything that's forbidden to carry out of your house, it's forbidden to put it on at all on Shabbat, even inside of your house. Why? Shema yishkach v'yotzebo. I mean, tefillin, it's not forbidden to put on tefillin. It's not forbidden in your house. If you want to put on tefillin, you can. It's not muktzah. Not muktzah, tefillin or muktzah. It's not forbidden to put on tefillin. There's no mitzvah to put on tefillin. But the thing is that it's forbidden to carry out the tefillin in the street. Why? Because tefillin are not a garment. You can't put things on your head and go out in the street. You can't put a big basket of fruit and go out of your house into the street. That's carrying. So the same thing as tefillin, you can't put it on your head and go onto the street like it's. We're going to explain. We already explained. I'm sorry, in Siman Shin Gimel. And even those people that say
Is anybody else here? I have a hunch that it's Rabbi who lost his connection. Can anybody hear me?
I'm here.
Yeah, I think it was the Rabbi. Okay, hopefully I'll be right back.
all right, Rabbi, should we continue? All right, that was the laws of Shabbos. Maybe we'll let's just finish that one law, okay? Let's just try to finish that one law. Let's see if I can get this here. Oh, it's Shabbos. Hello. Hello. Here we go. Good. All right, we're back in the saddle. Here we have Shin Ches. We are now on Law 19. There's never too late. 19. So we had tefillin. So we said, okay, let me try it in English. Tefillin are not like a law of holy books that you can move them for no reason, and they're also not considered to be a vessel that is used for a permissible purpose, like I explained later on. And even those people that say that you can put them on in your house, but because they are specially used usually for a mitzvah, in Shabbos you can't put them on for the sake of a mitzvah. You can put them on to protect you or whatever you can, but you can't put them on for the mitzvah. Therefore, you're not allowed to carry them even for themselves. It's not considered to be a kli shemalechta leheter. Okay, what if you find the tefillin, right? You find the tefillin and you want to put them somewhere where they won't get stolen. You want to move with your hands and put it in a place where they won't get stolen. Now, here we have two opposite things. On one hand, the tefillin are not considered to be a vessel shemalechto leheter. It's not considered to be a permissible vessel, like your clothes are, or a plate or a fork. But on the other hand, it's holy, and you don't want it to fall into the wrong hands. So if you're in a place where the majority of thieves are Jews, and they won't misuse the tefillin, then it's forbidden to carry them. Why? Because if they do fall into the hands of a Jewish thief, he's not going to misuse them. But if you're in a place where the majority of thieves are non-Jews and they'll desecrate the tefillin, then you can move them into a place with your hands. You can move it with your hands to a place and hide them. Okay, but what if you want to put on the tefillin, for instance, to protect you from evil spirits? It used to be more common. Or let's say the tefillin are in the middle of your table and you want to move them. Not to save the tefillin, but you want to eat your meal and the tefillin are right in the middle. Then it's permissible to carry them just like a vessel whose usually use is forbidden. Because why? Because they are vessels and they're a garment. You can't use the tefillin like for a doorstop or for something else. That's not nice. Sort of goof. Makomo, if it's in a place, then you can move it. And this is very common. This you find very common. You're in shul, you want to daven, the place where you usually sit, somebody left their tefillin there. Or the person who cleans up Erev Shabbos, you put tefillin there, or put tefillin on your table where you want to pray. So if you need the place, it's permissible to pick up those tefillin with your hands and move them to another place. You don't have to carry it between your elbows or something like that. Because they are a vessel, and not only that, they're even a garment. Technically, you could go out, if you went out with them in a public place, then you're exempt because you put it on in a garment. We'll talk about later what happens if you find tefillin. Some people say that you can put them on, you can carry them little by little. Some people say that you can pass them from one person to another, as we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow. So today,